The final transmission, the last stand. The Tokyo defense bunker shook as another plasma blast tore through the reinforced concrete walls. General Marcus Caney pressed his hand against the bleeding wound in his side and limped toward the command console. Around him, the control room was filled with smoke and the acrid smell of burning circuits. His officers lay dead at their stations, victims of the Zalthari assault that had breached the outer defenses just minutes ago. Marcus had spent 40 years in military service. He had seen wars, conflicts, and peacekeeping missions across the globe. But nothing had prepared humanity for the Zalthari. The alien invaders had arrived 3 years ago with ships that blotted out the sun and weapons that turned cities into glass. Now Earth's last major military installation was falling, and with it, the final organized resistance. Through the cracked view screen, Marcus watched the crystalline Zalthari warriors advancing through the rubble. They moved with insect-like precision, their segmented armor gleaming under the emergency lights. Each stood 8 feet tall with 4 arms that wielded energy weapons capable of cutting through tank armor. Behind them, their massive war machines crushed the remains of human defenses beneath tripod legs. Marcus coughed and tasted blood. He did not have much time. His fingers found the hidden panel beneath the main console, the one that only 5 people on Earth knew existed. The biometric scanner flickered to life, reading his palm print and retinal pattern. A small compartment opened, revealing a single red button marked with a symbol that looked like a bird rising from flames. The Phoenix Protocol. 15 years earlier. The memory came to Marcus unbidden as his finger hovered over the button. He remembered standing in a secret laboratory buried beneath the Sahara Desert, watching through reinforced glass as the first volunteer entered the enhancement chamber. Dr. Sarah Mitchell stood beside him, her dark eyes fixed on the monitors displaying vital signs and neural activity. She was brilliant, perhaps the most gifted biomechanical engineer of her generation. Beside her, Dr. James Okonkwo reviewed the genetic modification sequences on his tablet, his fingers moving with practiced speed. "Are you certain this will work?" Marcus had asked. Sarah turned to him, her expression serious. "General, we have spent 10 years developing this technology. The human body has limits, but we have found ways to push beyond them. Enhanced muscle density, accelerated neural processing, cellular regeneration that can heal wounds in hours instead of weeks. These soldiers will be stronger, faster, and more resilient than any human in history. And the risks?" Marcus pressed. James looked up from his tablet. "The enhancement process has a 78% survival rate. Those who survive will be changed forever. Their bodies will require specialized nutrition and maintenance. They will age more slowly, but they will never be fully human again." Marcus had watched as the volunteer, a young captain named Vera Santos, was sealed inside the chamber. For 6 hours, nanomachines rebuilt her body at the cellular level. When she emerged, the change was subtle but undeniable. Her movements were more fluid, her eyes sharper, her presence somehow more intense. Over the next 2 years, 200,000 volunteers underwent the same process. They were soldiers, pilots, engineers, and medics, all willing to sacrifice their humanity to become something more. The world's governments funded the program in secret, knowing that conventional warfare could not stop the threats emerging in deep space. But when the Zalthari arrived, they came too soon. The Phoenix soldiers were not ready. The world's military leaders decided they were too dangerous, too unpredictable to deploy. Instead, they were placed in suspended animation beneath the Sahara, sealed away in a facility that did not officially exist. Marcus had argued against it. He had pleaded for their activation. But fear won over logic, and humanity chose to fight with conventional weapons. Now, 3 years later, that decision had cost them everything. The activation. Marcus pressed the button. Deep beneath the Sahara Desert, 2,000 miles from Tokyo, a signal was received. Computer systems that had been dormant for 15 years surged to life. Emergency power generators hummed, feeding electricity to the massive underground complex. In the central control room, holographic displays flickered into existence, casting blue light across rows of cylindrical pods that stretched into the darkness. Inside each pod, a human form floated in preservation fluid. Their bodies were perfectly preserved, unchanged by the passage of time. The facility's artificial intelligence, designated Atlas, began executing its primary directive. Automated systems checked and rechecked every pod, every life sign, every enhancement sequence. Phoenix protocol activated, Atlas announced to the empty control room. Initiating revival sequence. Time to full operational status 4 hours. In Pod 01, Captain Vera Santos's eyes moved beneath closed lids. Her enhanced brain began processing information before her body fully woke. Memories flooded back, fragment by fragment. The enhancement chamber. The training. The moment she had volunteered, knowing she might never see her family again. The pod's fluid drained away. Warm air flooded the chamber, carrying with it the scent of sterilized metal and recycled oxygen. Vera's lungs expanded, drawing breath for the first time in 15 years. Her heart, reinforced with bioengineered tissue, began beating with steady, powerful rhythm. Pain came next. Every muscle screamed as blood flow returned to limbs that had been still for so long. But Vera's enhanced physiology adapted quickly. The pain faded, replaced by a tingling sensation as her nervous system recalibrated. She opened her eyes. The pod's transparent cover slid open with a hiss of pressurized air. Vera sat up slowly, her hands gripping the pod's edges. She looked down at her body, seeing the faint network of silver lines beneath her skin where the nanomachines had reinforced her cellular structure. She was still herself, but also something more. "Welcome back, Captain Santos," Atlas said, its voice calm and measured. "You have been in suspended animation for 15 years, 2 months, and 17 days. The Phoenix Protocol has been activated by General Marcus Caney. I regret to inform you that Earth has been invaded by an alien species designated Zalthari. Current estimates indicate 95% of the planet is under enemy control." Vera processed this information with the enhanced cognitive speed her modifications provided. 15 years. The world she knew was gone. Everyone she loved was likely dead or enslaved. But she had been trained for exactly this scenario. "Status of other Phoenix personnel?" she asked, her voice steady despite the emotional storm building inside her. "Revival in progress. 197,412 pods show viable life signs. Estimated casualties from long-term suspension, 2,588. All surviving personnel will be operational within 3 hours." Vera climbed out of the pod, her bare feet touching the cold metal floor. Her body moved with perfect balance, every muscle responding exactly as she intended. She walked to the nearest equipment locker and found a Phoenix combat suit waiting for her. The black material seemed to absorb light, embedded with technology that would enhance her already formidable abilities. As she dressed, other pods around her began opening. Lieutenant Chen Wei emerged from Pod 047, his lean frame moving with the controlled precision of a martial artist. Sergeant Malik Johnson, a mountain of enhanced muscle, pulled himself from Pod 112 with a grunt. Commander Elena Volkov, her ice-blue eyes scanning the chamber with tactical awareness, stepped out of Pod 203. One by one, Phoenix soldiers awakened. They dressed in silence, each processing the reality of their situation. They had known this day might come, but knowing and experiencing were different things. The briefing 2 hours later, the Phoenix Command Center was fully operational. Vera stood before a massive holographic display showing Earth's current state. Red zones indicated Zalthari control, which covered most of the planet's surface. Tiny green dots marked suspected human resistance pockets, few and far between. Atlas provided a comprehensive briefing. The Zalthari had arrived with a fleet of 600 warships. They had targeted military installations first, destroying Earth's orbital defenses within the first week. Major cities fell next, their populations either killed in the initial assault or captured for forced labor. The aliens had established massive mining operations, extracting Earth's resources with ruthless efficiency. Human resistance had been fierce but ultimately futile. Conventional weapons barely scratched Zalthari armor. Their ships could bombard targets from orbit with impunity. One by one, Earth's nations fell. The last coordinated military action had been the defense of Tokyo, which ended just hours ago with General Caney's death. "We are all that remains," Vera said, addressing the assembled Phoenix command staff. 200,000 enhanced soldiers against an occupation force estimated at 5 million Zalthari warriors and their automated systems. "Impossible odds," Chen observed, his analytical mind already calculating probabilities. "We were built for impossible odds," Malik countered, his deep voice rumbling through the chamber. Elena stepped forward, her expression cold and determined. "We have advantages. The Zalthari believe humanity is defeated. They have grown complacent. Their forces are spread thin across the globe, focused on resource extraction rather than security. And they have no idea we exist, Vera nodded. Atlas, what are our available resources? The AI displayed an inventory that made even the enhanced soldiers pause. The Phoenix facility contained weapons that had been deemed too advanced or too dangerous for conventional deployment. Railguns that could punch through starship hulls. Plasma weapons reverse-engineered from captured alien technology. Stealth suits that bent light around the wearer. Enough firepower to wage a guerrilla war for decades. We cannot defeat them in open battle, Vera continued. But we can make them bleed. We strike fast, hit critical targets, and disappear. We find human survivors and unite them. We learn everything we can about Zalthari technology and find their weaknesses. We become the nightmare they never expected. She looked at each of her officers in turn. I will not lie to you. Most of us will probably die. The world we knew is gone. The people we loved are likely dead. But we are Phoenix. We were created to rise from humanity's ashes, so that is exactly what we will do. Chen's tactical mind was already working. We need reconnaissance first. Small teams to assess enemy positions and locate resistance groups. Agreed, Elena said. I recommend we deploy scout units to major population centers. The Zalthari will have established control hubs there. We hit their communications first, blind them before they can coordinate a response. Malik cracked his enhanced knuckles. And then we hit them hard. Show these aliens that humans do not go quietly into extinction. Vera felt the weight of command settle on her shoulders. General Caney had activated Phoenix knowing it was humanity's last hope. She would not let his sacrifice be meaningless. Atlas, prepare strike teams. Chen, I want tactical plans for the top 20 Zalthari command centers. Elena, coordinate with our intel systems and identify any human resistance groups still active. Malik, get our heavy weapons teams ready. We move out in 6 hours. As her officers dispersed to their tasks, Vera remained before the holographic display. She zoomed in on Tokyo, where the red indicator showed intense Zalthari activity. General Caney's last stand, the man who had given her this second chance at saving humanity. I will not let you down, General, she whispered. Behind her, the Phoenix facility hummed with renewed purpose. Enhanced soldiers prepared for battle, checking weapons and calibrating their suits. Medical teams ensured everyone was fully recovered from suspension. Engineers reviewed the facility's advanced equipment, preparing vehicles and support systems. In the armory, Vera selected her weapons. A compact rail carbine that could fire tungsten rounds at hypersonic velocity, plasma charges for breaching heavy armor, a molecular blade that could cut through nearly any material, and a personal shield generator, experimental technology that might stop a Zalthari energy weapon long enough for her to return fire. She caught her reflection in a polished metal surface. Her face was the same as she remembered, but her eyes held a hardness that had not been there 15 years ago. She was 37 years old chronologically, but her body was still in its peak condition, enhanced far beyond normal human limits. She could run for hours without tiring, lift half a ton without strain, and process tactical information faster than any computer. But she was still human. She still felt fear, anger, and grief. She still remembered her daughter's laugh, her husband's smile, and the life she had left behind to become Phoenix. For them, she said to her reflection, for all of them. 6 hours later, the first Phoenix strike teams prepared to deploy. Access tunnels that had been sealed for 15 years opened to the surface. Night had fallen over the Sahara, the desert sky filled with stars that seemed somehow colder than Vera remembered. She led Team Alpha, consisting of 12 enhanced soldiers handpicked for the first mission. Their target was Cairo, once Egypt's capital and now a Zalthari labor processing center. Intelligence suggested 2,000 aliens controlled the city, and 40,000 human prisoners. Remember, Vera told her team as they emerged into the desert night, we are not trying to win this war in one night. We are sending a message. Humanity is not defeated. Humanity is Phoenix, and we are rising. They moved into the darkness, enhanced bodies crossing the desert at speeds no unmodified human could match. Behind them, other teams deployed toward different targets across the globe. The counteroffensive had begun. In orbit above Earth, Zalthari sensors detected nothing unusual. Their commanders reviewed reports of total planetary subjugation with satisfaction. Humanity was broken, its military destroyed, its population enslaved. The conquest was complete. They had no idea that humanity's most dangerous weapons had just awakened from a 15-year sleep. They had no idea that 200,000 enhanced super soldiers were about to show them the true meaning of human determination. The Phoenix had risen, and the Zalthari were about to learn why you should never underestimate the species that calls itself human. Rise of the Phoenix. First blood. The ruins of Cairo stretched beneath the starlight like broken teeth. Captain Vera Santos crouched on a collapsed overpass, her enhanced vision scanning the alien structures that had grown like tumors among the ancient city's remains. The Zalthari had built their processing center where the Egyptian museum once stood, a massive crystalline complex that pulsed with sickly green light. Through her tactical visor, Vera counted 17 Zalthari patrols moving through the streets below. Each patrol consisted of 4 warriors, their segmented armor reflecting the glow from their own installations. They moved with mechanical precision, following routes that Atlas had predicted with 92% accuracy. Team Alpha in position, Vera whispered into her comm system. Around her, 11 enhanced soldiers waited in perfect silence, their presence nearly undetectable even to advanced sensors. Team Beta ready, Lieutenant Chen's voice came through, his unit positioned on the opposite side of the complex. Team Gamma standing by, Sergeant Malik rumbled from his position near the human containment area. Vera checked her chronometer, 0 hour and 30 seconds. Her heart beat steady and calm, her enhanced body responding to her will with perfect control. She thought briefly of General Caney, wondering if he had known what would happen when he pressed that button. Had he died believing humanity was finished, or had he died with hope? All teams, this is Phoenix 1, Vera transmitted. Remember, we are not just fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for every human who suffered under Zalthari occupation. We are fighting for those who can no longer fight. We are the message that humanity sends to the universe. We do not surrender. We do not break. We rise. Phoenix forever. Her team responded in unison. Execute. Vera moved first, her enhanced body launching from the overpass in a controlled fall that would have killed an unmodified human. She landed 3 stories below with barely a sound, her reinforced legs absorbing the impact. Her molecular blade was in her hand before her feet touched ground, the weapon humming with deadly energy. The nearest Zalthari patrol never knew what hit them. Vera crossed 20 meters in 2 seconds, her blade cutting through the first warrior's neck joint before it could raise its weapon. The second alien turned, mandibles clicking in alarm, but Vera's rail carbine was already firing. The tungsten round punched through its central body mass, the kinetic energy liquefying its internal organs. The third and fourth Zalthari managed to activate their shields, energy barriers flaring to life. But Vera had been enhanced to fight opponents exactly like this. She rolled beneath their return fire, came up inside the shield perimeter and drove her blade through the third warrior's abdomen. The fourth died as Chen emerged from the shadows behind it, his plasma charge detonating against its unprotected back. First patrol eliminated, Vera reported. No alarm raised. Proceeding to Phase 2. Across the complex, similar scenes played out with brutal efficiency. Phoenix soldiers moved through the darkness like avenging spirits, their enhanced abilities allowing them to strike before the Zalthari could react. Years of training combined with technological superiority turned each soldier into a one-person army. Malik's team hit the containment area with overwhelming force. The Zalthari guards there were focused inward, watching the human prisoners. They died without firing a shot. Malik personally tore the electronic locks from the containment cells, his enhanced strength making the reinforced metal crumple like paper. "You are free," he told the shocked prisoners, his massive frame filling the doorway. "We are Phoenix, humanity's protectors. Follow us if you want to live." The awakening hope among the freed prisoners was an elderly woman who stepped forward while others cowered in fear. Her dark skin was marked with scars from Zalthari torture, but her eyes burned with undiminished spirit. She studied Malik with sharp intelligence, taking in his Phoenix combat suit and enhanced physique. "I am Amara," she said, her voice strong despite her frail appearance. "I was a general before the fall. I have been organizing resistance among the prisoners. We have been waiting for something, anything, to give us hope. Are you that hope?" Malik knelt so he could meet her eyes at level. "We are Phoenix, ma'am. Enhanced soldiers who were put into suspension before the invasion. We are 200,000 strong, and we have come to take back our planet, Tears streamed down Amara's weathered face. I knew it. I told the others that humanity would not die so easily. I told them to keep faith. Your faith was not misplaced, Malik said gently, but we need your help. What can you tell us about Zalthari operations? As Malik's team evacuated the prisoners, Amara shared intelligence that proved invaluable. She had spent 3 years observing her captors, noting their schedules, their communications, their weaknesses. The resistance she had organized was small but dedicated. Scattered cells across Cairo who had been waiting for an opportunity. The Zalthari are efficient but predictable, Amara explained as they moved through the ruins. They rely heavily on their technology. Their command structure is rigid. Kill the leaders and the lower ranks become confused, and they underestimate us. They see humans as primitive, barely worth their attention. That underestimation ends tonight, Malik growled. At the processing center's main tower, Vera's team had penetrated the primary command level. The Zalthari officers inside never expected an assault on their headquarters. They died at their stations, their clicking death screams cut short by precise weapons fire. Elena Volkov moved through the command center with cold efficiency, her training as an intelligence officer serving her well. She accessed the Zalthari computer systems, her neural interface allowing her to process their alien data at superhuman speed. Vera, you need to see this, Elena transmitted. Vera joined her at a holographic terminal displaying Zalthari communications across North Africa. The data was staggering: supply routes, troop deployments, resource extraction schedules, and most importantly, confirmation that the Zalthari had grown dangerously complacent. They have reduced their military presence by almost 60%, Elena reported. Most of their warriors have been redeployed to other conquest zones. They left behind skeleton crews to manage the human population. They truly believe we are defeated. Download everything, Vera ordered. Atlas needs this data, and set demolition charges. When we leave, I want this building erased from existence. As Elena worked, alarms suddenly blared throughout the complex. On the tactical display, red indicators showed Zalthari reinforcements mobilizing from their barracks. They have realized we are here, Chen reported. Enemy contacts incoming from all directions. Estimate 200 hostiles converging on our position. Vera made a split-second decision. All teams execute extraction protocol. Elena, how long do you need? 2 minutes for a complete download. You have 90 seconds. Chen Malik set up defensive perimeters. We hold here until Elena finishes, then we blow this place and run. The next 90 seconds became an eternity of controlled chaos. Phoenix soldiers established firing positions at key choke points, their advanced weapons cutting down Zalthari warriors as they attempted to breach the command center. The aliens had numbers, but the enhanced humans had superior positions and firepower. Malik's heavy plasma cannon turned an entire corridor into an inferno, vaporizing a dozen Zalthari who tried to rush their position. Chen's team used precision railgun fire to eliminate enemy squad leaders, throwing the Zalthari formations into disarray. But the aliens adapted quickly. They deployed heavy combat mechs, 8-foot-tall war machines with shields strong enough to withstand Phoenix weapons. The mechs advanced through the killing zones, their arm-mounted cannons returning devastating fire. Elena, Vera shouted as a plasma blast scorched the wall beside her. Download complete. Charges set. All teams fall back to extraction point. Move, move, move. The Phoenix soldiers withdrew with disciplined precision, covering each other as they retreated through the complex. Vera was the last to leave the command center, triggering the demolition sequence as she sprinted for the exit. The explosion was spectacular. The entire crystalline tower collapsed in on itself. The shaped charges designed by Phoenix engineers creating a cascade failure that reduced the structure to rubble. Secondary explosions tore through the lower levels as power systems overloaded. Commander Thexcal, the Zalthari occupation leader for North Africa, watched from his command ship in orbit as the Cairo processing center's signal vanished from his displays. For several seconds, he simply stared in disbelief. Then rage consumed him. What happened? He demanded, his mandibles clicking with fury. Unknown, Commander, his tactical officer reported. All communications with the Cairo facility ceased simultaneously. Sensors detected multiple small-scale explosions consistent with coordinated demolition. Impossible. The humans have no military capability remaining. We destroyed their armed forces years ago. Nevertheless, Commander, the facility is gone. and we are receiving similar reports from processing centers in Mumbai, Sao Paulo, and Sydney, all attacked within the same hour, all destroyed. Thexcal felt something he had not experienced in decades of conquest across multiple worlds. Uncertainty. The humans should have been broken. Their will to resist crushed under 3 years of brutal occupation. Yet somehow they had struck back with precision and coordination that suggested organized military action. Send emergency transmission to the home fleet, Thexcal ordered. Request immediate reinforcement, and activate all remaining ground forces. Whoever is doing this, I want them found and eliminated. The message in the ruins outside Cairo. Vera's team regrouped with the freed prisoners. Nearly 3,000 humans had been liberated from the containment areas, their faces showing a mixture of shock, relief, and dawning hope. Amara approached Vera as Phoenix medics tended to the prisoners' wounds. What happens now? The Zalthari will retaliate. They will hunt for us. Let them hunt, Vera replied. We have been preparing for this fight for 15 years. But you are right about one thing. We cannot protect all these people, not yet. We need to establish safe zones, hidden bases where survivors can gather. The Resistance has several such locations, Amara said. Underground complexes that the Zalthari have not discovered. We can take people there, begin organizing a proper insurgency. Vera nodded. Good. We will provide you with weapons and supplies. Train your people. Teach them to fight. Every human who can hold a weapon needs to be ready for what comes next. As dawn approached, painting the sky with shades of orange and pink, Vera stood on a hill overlooking the ruins of Cairo. Behind her, Phoenix soldiers prepared for departure, while freed prisoners organized themselves under Amara's capable leadership. In the distance, Zalthari sirens wailed as the aliens searched for answers to the impossible attacks. Chen joined her, his tactical mind already planning the next operations. Atlas has processed Elena's data. The Zalthari have 13 major command centers across Earth. We hit 4 of them tonight. The others will be expecting us now. Good, Vera said. Let them expect us. Let them prepare. It will not matter. We are not trying to win through superior force. We are trying to prove that humanity cannot be conquered. The Zalthari will call for reinforcements, Chen observed, and we will be ready when they arrive. Every day we fight is another day humans remember what it means to be free. Every Zalthari we kill is a message to the universe. We are not prey. We are not victims. We are predators who were sleeping and now we are awake. Across the globe, similar scenes played out. In Mumbai, Sergeant Yuki Tanaka's team had destroyed a Zalthari weapons depot and freed 5,000 prisoners. In Sao Paulo, Commander James O'Connor led a raid that captured intact Zalthari vehicles and equipment. In Sydney, Lieutenant Sarah Kim's team eliminated an entire alien garrison without losing a single soldier. The reports flooded into the Phoenix facility beneath the Sahara, where Atlas coordinated the global resistance. The AI analyzed every engagement, learning more about Zalthari tactics and capabilities with each encounter. Enhanced soldiers who had been sleeping were now the tip of humanity's spear, striking back against impossible odds. News of the attacks spread through human resistance networks like wildfire. Whispered stories told of superhuman soldiers who moved like ghosts and fought like demons. The name Phoenix was spoken with reverence and hope. After 3 years of darkness, humanity had found its champions. But Vera knew the real fight was just beginning. The Zalthari were confused now, off balance. But they would adapt. They would bring more ships, more warriors, more firepower. The easy victories would end, and Phoenix would face the full might of an alien empire that had conquered 17 worlds before Earth. In her quarters deep beneath the Sahara, Vera recorded a message to be broadcast on all human resistance frequencies. She looked into the camera, her enhanced eyes seeming to glow in the dim light. My name is Captain Vera Santos of Phoenix. For those who do not know, Phoenix is humanity's last and greatest military force. We are 200,000 enhanced soldiers who were placed in suspension before the Zalthari invasion. We have awakened and we have begun taking back our world. She paused, choosing her words carefully. I will not lie to you. The fight ahead will be long and brutal. Many of us will die before Earth is free. The Zalthari are powerful, and they will not surrender our planet easily. But I promise you this, we will never stop fighting. We will never surrender, and we will never abandon the human race to alien occupation. To the Zalthari who are surely listening to this message, I say, you made a critical error. You thought destroying our armies meant destroying our will. You thought killing our leaders meant killing our spirit. You were wrong. Humanity does not need armies to be dangerous. Humanity does not need leaders to be free. We are Phoenix, born from the ashes of everything you destroyed. And we are going to show you why Earth is the one world you should never have invaded. To every human survivor, every resistance cell, every person who still dares to hope, stand ready. Phoenix is rising. The counteroffensive has begun. And before this is over, the Zalthari will learn what it truly means to face humanity when we are pushed to our limits. We are not the last humans standing. We are the first humans fighting back. Join us, fight with us. Together we will reclaim our world. She ended the transmission and sat in silence for a moment, feeling the weight of what was to come. Through the facility's walls, she could hear the sounds of preparation. Soldiers training, weapons being manufactured, vehicles being readied for deployment. The Phoenix facility had become a hive of purposeful activity, humanity's hidden arsenal finally unleashed. A knock on her door pulled her from her thoughts. Malik entered, his massive frame filling the doorway. "The teams are asking for you," he said. "They want to hear from their commander before the next operation." Vera stood straightening her Phoenix uniform. "What is the next target?" "New Delhi, the Zalthari's primary command center for Asia. Atlas estimates 8,000 enemy combatants, heavy fortifications, and automated defense systems. It will be our toughest fight yet. Then we had better be ready." Vera followed Malik through the facility corridors toward the main assembly area. As they walked, she saw Phoenix soldiers everywhere. Some cleaned weapons, others reviewed tactical data, and a few rested before the next deployment. They were the best humanity had to offer, enhanced beyond normal limits, trained for impossible missions. They were also frighteningly young. Most had been in their 20s when they entered suspension. Now they were awakening to a world where everyone they knew was dead or enslaved, fighting a war that seemed unwinnable. But when Vera entered the assembly area and saw 2,000 Phoenix soldiers snap to attention, she felt pride surge through her. These men and women had volunteered knowing they might never see home again. They had accepted enhancements that changed them forever. And now they were proving that humanity's greatest weapon was not technology or numbers, but the refusal to accept defeat. "At ease," Vera commanded, and the soldiers relaxed slightly. She walked to the raised platform at the center of the chamber, her voice carrying to every corner through the facility's speakers. "Phoenix," she began, "we have struck our first blows against the Zalthari occupation. Across the globe, our teams have destroyed enemy installations, freed prisoners, and shown the aliens that humanity is not defeated. But this is just the beginning." She activated a holographic display showing Earth with its red Zalthari-controlled zones. "The enemy knows we exist now. They are mobilizing their forces, calling for reinforcements. The element of surprise is gone. From here on, every mission will be harder. Every battle will be deadlier. Some of us will not come back." She let that truth sink in before continuing. "But we will continue fighting because that is what Phoenix does. We rise from destruction. We turn humanity's darkest hour into the beginning of our greatest triumph." The Zalthari thought they conquered Earth. They were wrong. They just woke up the one thing they should have feared most. Humans with nothing left to lose and everything to fight for. "In the coming weeks, we will hit them harder and faster than they can imagine. We will liberate human prisoners, destroy their infrastructure, and capture their technology. We will learn their weaknesses and exploit them ruthlessly, and we will unite every surviving human under one banner, the banner of Phoenix, humanity's sword and shield." She raised her fist. "We are not fighting for territory or resources. We are fighting for the survival of our species. We are fighting so that human children can grow up free under Earth's sky. We are fighting because no alien empire has the right to enslave the human race. And we will keep fighting until either Earth is free or the last Phoenix soldier falls." The assembly erupted in a roar that shook the facility's walls.
"Phoenix, Phoenix."
"Phoenix?" Vera felt tears threatening but held them back. These were her people now, her responsibility. General Caney had given them this chance. She would not waste it. As the assembly dispersed to prepare for the New Delhi operation, Vera returned to the command center where Elena and Chen were finalizing tactical plans. The holographic display showed the target in detail. A massive Zalthari fortress built on the ruins of India's capital, defended by thousands of warriors and automated weapon systems. "It is suicide to attack this directly," Chen said bluntly. "We would need 10 times our numbers to have a chance of success." Then we do not attack directly, Elena replied. We use deception, infiltration, and precision strikes. The Zalthari are expecting brute force. We give them shadows and ghosts instead. Vera studied the fortress, her enhanced mind processing countless tactical possibilities. What if we do not try to destroy it? What if we capture it instead? Chen and Elena looked at her in surprise. Explain, Elena said. The fortress is their command center for all of Asia, Vera said. It contains strategic data, communication systems, and control nodes for their entire regional network. If we could take it intact, we would deal a devastating blow to their command structure. And gain access to intelligence that could change this war, Elena added, understanding dawning in her eyes. Chen frowned, running calculations. It would require perfect execution. One mistake and we would be trapped inside with no escape route. Then we do not make mistakes, Vera said simply. This is what Phoenix was built for. Impossible missions that require superhuman abilities and perfect coordination. We have both, she turned to face her officers. Start planning. I want options for infiltration, capture of key systems, and exfiltration of both our forces and any captured data. We move in 72 hours. As Chen and Elena began working, Vera walked to the observation window overlooking the Phoenix Armory. Below, soldiers prepared weapons and vehicles for deployment. They moved with purpose and determination, each one understanding that they were humanity's last hope. In orbit above Earth, Commander Thexcal was making his own preparations. The unexpected resistance had alarmed the Zalthari High Command. A battle fleet was being diverted to Earth, carrying 50,000 fresh warriors and enough firepower to sterilize the planet's surface if necessary. The massive ships were already in transit, racing through the void toward the blue world that had dared to resist. In 7 days they would arrive. In 7 days the Zalthari would crush this Phoenix resistance and show the humans the price of defiance. But Thexcal did not know that deep beneath the Sahara, an AI named Atlas had detected the approaching fleet. Did not know that 200,000 enhanced soldiers were preparing for exactly this scenario. Did not know that humanity had planned for the possibility of reinforcements and had countermeasures ready. The Phoenix had risen from humanity's ashes. The Zalthari had awakened Earth's sleeping warriors, and now those warriors were about to show the galaxy what happens when you push humanity too far. The war for Earth had truly begun, and this time, humanity was not fighting to delay the inevitable. This time, humanity was fighting to win.